Welcome to CMS Training with EDUCO. In this video, we'll be showing you how to use the menu manager to control the navigation of your Drupal site. First, we're going to create a new basic page so that we can have additional items in our menu to play around with. Right now, we only have a link to the home page. So I'm going to click the shortcut in my shortcut menu, Add Basic Page, and we'll make this the title of this page, About Us. That's a very typical page that sites have. And for the body, I'm going to paste in some lorem ipsum text using the Paste from Word functionality of the WYSIWYG editor. So I'm going to paste that's already been copied to my clipboard, and I'll hit OK. So now I have some content on the page. As I scroll down, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to check the box to provide a menu link for this content. This is going to automatically add it to the menu that we have selected here underneath the parent item. I'll give it some description text for the mouse over so you can see again how that works. I'll just say that the description of this link is About Us. And then down here, I've got my parent item selected as main menu. That's going to have it display in the primary navigation of the site. Your main menu that appears at the top of your page might be called something different, but for the most part it'll have something like main or navigation, and it'll likely be the default parent item for a basic page. So I'm going to leave all my other settings as they are, and I'm going to save this page. And now what's going to happen is we're going to have an additional tab called About Us in our main navigation. For the most part, you'll probably want your About Us tab to come after your Home tab. Now, you could, on the actual About Us page, edit it and play around with the weight on the menu, but it's a lot easier to actually use the menu manager. So we're going to do that now. We're going to go to Structure, and we're going to select Menus. Now you'll see here a list of all the menus on the website. We've got a footer menu. This actually displays links in the footer of the site, and we'll address that in a minute. We have the main menu, which we've just added our About Us link to. This appears at the top of your page. And then we've got some unused menus. We've got a management menu that we could add administrative tasks to and have display in our backend, some additional navigation, and a user menu. We're not presently using those items on our layout or in our template. They usually hold things like a login or a logout button for the user menu. The navigation will usually have some links intended for site visitors, but those are presently disabled. So right now we're just going to list the links in the main menu. So we're going to click the List Links button. And you can see here we've got our About Us link and our Home link. We've got the compass drag to reorder items on the left-hand side. So if you select that and drag Home above About Us, the system will let you know that the changes made in this table will not be saved until the form is submitted. So if you hit Save Configuration, it'll tell you your configuration has been saved. And if we were to close out of this overlay, you can see once the page refreshes that Home now is before About Us, which is what we'd want to happen. If we'd like to make other edits to the menu, say for instance to edit individual items, like edit the link to which they're navigating, if we go to List Links, we also have an Add Link button here where we could add additional links to other pages, or we can disable certain links by unchecking the Enabled button. That means that that link will still be there for us to enable later, but it will not show on the website. We can completely delete a link, and that means that it will be completely gone from the menu. We will not be able to enable it later. And if you want to re-add that link, you will have to do so by clicking the Add Link link. And you can also edit the link. So I'm going to go to Edit for the Home link so you can see what that looks like. So the menu link title is called Home. The path is actually directing you to the front page, the home page of the website. So you could direct this straight to the home page alias, and that would take you to the same place. But when you're creating a link to your home page or the front page of your website, you want to use the code of front, and it'll let you know right down here. It gives you a little description of what this field is for. It says the path for this menu link. This can be an internal Drupal path such as node/add, or an external URL such as http://drupal.org. Enter front to link to the front page. So if you wanted to have a link on your site go to an external link for some reason, if you had a sister site or some kind of page that you're frequently referencing and you'd like to add that to your navigation, you can put the full link to that page in this path block and it will link to that external page. Here again you have that description, that the yellow tooltip that appears when you're hovering over the menu link. So let's call this Return Home. And then here again, we're seeing that enabled box. It's the same box that you see in the list of links, but you can edit it here. If you unchecked it, this link would be disabled. In some cases, you might have a drop-down navigation menu, and you might want it to show as expanded. That means appear drop down in its drop down state whether or not you're mousing over it. You can do so by clicking show as expanded. And this is really dependent on your template. And then we also have a parent link option here. So if, for instance, you wanted this to appear as a child or within a drop down of another item and your template was set up to display drop downs, you could edit that here. And here's the weight. The weight is actually set when you use that compass to move around the order of your links, so you don't really have to mess with this. The system will set it for you, so you probably want to leave that alone. So if we hit save, our changes are made to the home link, and once I close out of this overlay, that mouse over tooltip of return home will display on the home link. Another thing to note about the links in your menu structure, if you'd like, instead of setting the parent-child relationship of a certain page, you can use the drag to reorder to actually make a page a child of another simply by moving it to the right or to the left. Left hand, moving it out to the left will make sure that these two pages are siblings. That means they're on the same menu level. If I move it over to the right, now About Us is a child of Home. And if my site uses drop-downs, which this one doesn't, but if your template uses drop-downs, then About Us would now appear as a sublink of Home. And you can, scooch these over for as many drop-down levels as your site will allow. You can even have items display as children of pages where maybe necessarily that drop-down level doesn't display, but you'd still like to maintain the hierarchy of having a page as a child of certain pages. So if I were to save this configuration and close out of my overlay, you can see my About Us link will disappear because it would appear as a child of the home page if this template had allowed for drop-downs, which it does not. So I'm going to go back to Structure, Menus, and then I'm going to go back to List the Links of my main menu, and I'm going to scooch About Us back out, and I'm going to save that configuration. Now, your site might have multiple sets of menus. It depends on the individual template. In this case, you can see there's a link down here in my footer. That's our footer menu. And if we go back to Structure, Menus, you'll see that this footer menu is used to display the links in your site's footer. And if I list links, I'll only have my home page here. The reason for this is because when you're creating a new page, within the page creation overlay, you only have the option to add a link to your page to one menu. So you'll usually add that link to your main menu. And if you've got additional menus that also need to reference that link, you'll want to come and use your menu manager for that. So if I wanted to add an About Us link to my footer menu, I'll click the Add Link, and then I'll have the menu link title be About Us, and the path is going to be About Us. That's the alias that was automatically set for my page. The description, I'll just put About Us, and again, that's the text that mouses over in yellow. I'll have it enabled, and in this case, I'll let the parent link be set to footer. That's going to put this in my footer menu, and I'll hit Save. Okay, great, and now it says, it just basically lets me know that everything is good to go. And again, I'll want to rearrange these links so home appears first. And when I save this configuration and close out of this overlay, I can scroll down to the bottom of my page and see that the About Us link is now added to my footer menu. So that's how to manage your navigation using the menu manager. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.